All right, welcome back to Ep5 of Reg Wars. Today I'm joined by John Milley, Hammy. His name is Brandon Hamlet. Thank you for hopping on.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm the first New Jersey reg, so it's gonna be nice.
Yeah, I felt a little bit biased to the PA guys just because that's where I started playing, and I figured we have to get at least one of you out of staters in. Hopefully some more to come.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure there'll be a lot more.
yeah, I'll have to hit you up for some recs, but yeah, no, let's kick it off talking about your experience at Triton because this is kind of where I got introduced to you. When I first started getting into poker, I was basically following anybody who like seemed like they had a clue what they were doing in poker, just trying to like soak up knowledge from people who were better than me. And you were one of the first people who I followed, and I followed you right after you won the 100K Triton package on ACR. Um, what was that experience like? Did you have intentions on firing that Sadie? Like, was that on your eye or radar at all?
Yeah, I'll tell you everything about it. So basically, this was when I lived at home. This was like the start of my poker journey for the most part. Um, yeah, I was playing on ACR. I was playing on all the unregulated poker sites because I was in New York. And yeah, I was looking at those saddies. I had friends telling me a lot of the step saddies were overlaying. So like
Gotcha.
I would go from like the 33 to the 290 to the 2650. And yeah, I saw it was overlaying a bunch, and I decided to just max late reg it, and I somehow luck boxed my way into winning $100,000 package. My poker game at that time was definitely not great. I would say I got very lucky to be in the position that I was in, and yeah, I was able to win a 100K package and somehow get on a first class flight to Montenegro by myself, and it was pretty insane.
That's wild to hear that that like was kind of the beginning of your poker journey because I want to go back and talk a little bit more about like how you got started. But for now, sticking on like the Triton theme, I had an inside source tell me you got the tourist treatment when you arrived there
Yeah,
from a
yeah,
special
like
somebody.
yeah. So basically, I decided that, for my first $25,000 buy-in. So the way it worked, it was three $25,000 buy-ins and then one $30,000 buy-in. And stupid me was like, you know what? Like, I want the experience. Like, I want to sit there level one. I want to sit there with the best, and I want to play. So yeah, I decided to play the $25,000 buy-in from the start, level one, like 300 bigs deep, and I was sitting with like it was me, Makita, uh, Zubov, Sean Winter. It was just you get the point. It was
Yeah.
all of the elites. And yeah, it was like a very interesting strategy. Like level one, I had Makita on my direct left. He would like min three bet me to just get me like heads up to just like play with me and not anybody else. And it was a really hard strategy to go against because uh he wasn't folding. Like if you four bet to any size, he's going to call. He's in
Hmm.
position. He's going to try to mess you up post, and then you can't fold because he's min three betting you. So it's like a very hard. It was very hard to like adjust to that. But yeah, I mean, after that, I hero called off a terrible hand to bust, and I was like, you know what? I am going to max late reg every single tournament here, and and
Quick change of plan.
I know I can handle myself in that aspect. So yeah, that was my quick adjustment. I was like, I'm just gonna max late reg everything. I'll I'll enjoy it. Montenegro was beautiful, right on the water.
Yeah, I
Uh,
imagine.
it was insane. Like, and I just decided I was just gonna drink coffee and hang out by the pool until until max late reg time.
Yeah, that max late reg strat is seems pretty optimal in an area when it's so beautiful and you can kind of just spend all day outside and you're like, all right, I guess I'll flick it in at like 5
Yeah,
p.m. or
yeah,
something.
for sure. Especially when the players in Triton, they're all elite, and yeah, I almost feel like I don't want to say this, but like I almost feel like it's a waste of time. Like I have no aspirations to go back. But I mean, the players are so good, the rake's high. Like I don't know, I don't. It was a great experience. think everybody should experience it at least once. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a cool ride.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you had any interest in playing Tritons in the future, but it sounds like not. And I think that's probably like a pretty healthy mindset to have, just given the skill set, the rig, all of that. It's like you don't really want to be striving for that type of
And
environment.
also the buy-ins, like it's so crazy, like
That too.
the money that requires you need to have to play those tournaments. Yeah, I'll stick to my New Jersey nest and go out for my little main events,
There you
and
go.
yeah, yeah.
I actually didn't realize this was like posted on YouTube until like a few months ago. Like you're in like you're a star in this like moneymaker documentary with like
Yeah,
250K views on the ACR channel. It's like what's going on
yeah,
here?
yeah. They asked me when I won the package if I would like be helpful in doing interviews and like showing my like how I got here and some updates during while I play, and I said why not? Like, I mean, what the hell? It's going to be cool. It'll be a cool experience. And
Yeah.
yeah, I ended up doing with like interviews with Moneymaker. Um, yeah, it was and all the other ACR pros and the whole team, which they were fantastic throughout the whole journey. But yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a dream vacation to be honest. Just like
Yeah, yeah, it was fun. I only stayed out there for 5 days, but it was like first class everything. They picked me up in a Mercedes, like it was all crazy.
hell yeah. I mean that's what you get for
Crazy.
paying like however much in rake, right? I remember Nick Petrangelo was talking about how it's like the most expensive vacation that's like free because you just pay like 70K in rake over over a
Right.
series
Yeah,
and you just get all these like lavish
crazy
amenities.
perks. Yeah, yeah, for
Cool.
sure.
Well then, yeah, we can bring it back to kind of what you alluded to. Like, I guess this was right kind of at the beginning of your quote unquote poker career. You're from New York, right? So you must have been playing, ACR, Ignition, all those types of sites for a while, right?
Yeah, so this was when, although I say it wasn't the beginning, but this is like this Triton was where my poker career took off.
Hmm.
It wasn't the beginning of my poker career, but it was where my poker career took off because I was buried. I was down a lot of money playing poker, learning the game, getting good. And yeah, like I was just playing from home. I would when I first worked for a mortgage company right out of college. I went to Quinnipiac University in Connecticut, Hamden,
Nice.
Connecticut. Um, and I was always playing poker like through college. I was always playing like ACR Ignition, like I was a complete whale, like just trying to figure out what to do. And then I started to take the game a lot more seriously right out of college when I realized I had to actually work for a living. um, yeah, I got a job with a mortgage company called Animac, and I was so miserable. This was like peak COVID, so I was at home. I had an office in my parents' house, wake up, work, and I would be playing poker on the side 24/7. No, I would wake up at 9 a.m. I'd start playing poker, whether it was cash games, whether it was tournaments, smallest tournaments. I always had my eye on for poker,
Like during
and
work, like while working from home.
oh yeah, I'm not. Well, I'll tell you, I actually got fired from my job because yeah, I was playing poker.
Nice.
Uh, I was playing poker 24/7. I was like not doing my tasks. I was like being very lazy with all that stuff. But I had a plan. Although I didn't want to get fired, I had a plan. Like I was tracking everything. I was trying to show because really my parents' approval of like me doing what I want to do for a living meant everything to me. I didn't really care. I didn't care about anything else. I needed to show them that like this is possible to make a living doing this.
Hmm.
And so yeah, I showed my parents day in and day out that like it's very possible to make a living playing poker. And it probably took a year, 8 months or so for them to get around to it as I was collecting unemployment checks. But yeah, like it ended up working out where I proved to them that I could do this for a living, and that was a really awesome feeling that I could do.
Was that
And yeah,
was that downswing that you kind of alluded to, like during the job, before the job, after the job?
that was like a year into me uh playing poker because I first started playing in these poker 2 cash games and poker bros. That's
Oh,
how it
right.
all
Yeah, yeah. The
that's
site
how
or like the app
that's
games.
how it really all started. Yeah, that's how it really all started for me because those app games during COVID, it was insane. Like it's unfathomable the action. Like I was in a 1-2 game. Um, I was in a 1-2 game. Like you buy in for like $600, so it's like a 300 big blind, and like we're talking like people would lose $2,000 in a 1-2 game. Like it played way bigger, but it was just insane.
Yeah.
So I was playing cash, and then at nighttime I would play like the daily Poker Bros tournaments. And like you start 1,000 big blinds deep in these Poker Bro tournaments. You get Ace King, you just go all in pre. You just don't even open. You just go all in. And like these guys are calling 8-7 suited for infinite big blinds, and yeah, that's what the games were like back then. So I knew that like if like this is crazy. Like if I can do if it's gonna be like this, I'm gonna be a millionaire, right?
Yeah.
But obviously, the clubs have died down a lot since after COVID. But yeah, that's where it all started in those games for me.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be tough, like kind of just going for it, right after a job, and then you just kind of are immediately on the downswing. How did you kind of like work your way out of that and being able to kind of prove to your parents like this is something that's possible?
Yeah, well, I've pride myself. I've surrounded myself with Josh Ari actually just tweeted about this. He was saying like be a sponge, surround yourself with people with similar goals and surround yourself with smarter people. And
Mhm.
honestly, that's what I've done. Like I've surrounded myself with a lot of good poker pros, some USA guys, some Europeans. Yeah, I've just networked myself really well, and I've been able. I think that's like probably the most impressive part of my career is that I've been able to like take in all the information that all these great players are doing and implement it into my game. And yeah, I've been super lucky. I've been super lucky to network, and that's how that 100K downswing. That's how I got completely out of it. I mean, obviously being Triton was nice, but once I got out of it, I surrounded myself with great people, a great network, and yeah, that's allowed me to get tremendously better at the game. It's allowed me to find exploits that I would never find, and yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about network. I mean, that's pretty much the reason like I started this podcast is to like talk to more poker players, meet more poker players. There's so much value in being able to talk to somebody who has done it before you, right? You don't have to spend the 2 months trying to find an answer to a question that somebody had already found out the answer to 6 months ago, and then they tell you, and you're like, oh, okay, that's how I should approach it, or oh, I should be playing these games instead of this game, or I should be doing
right,
this instead of that. There's so many like quick little things that can be fixed just by talking to people who are a lot brighter than you. So that's cool.
right. And in this day and age, we're also lucky. Like, there's so many tools to get better at poker now, like better than ever.
Hmm.
There's just so many ways to get better at the game, and you actually like although having people surrounding people like surrounding yourself with better players than you and people that like you said have done it before. There's also so many tools that like you don't even at this point you don't even really need it. I mean, you just need to have a good intuition and a good like good eye for things because I mean, yeah, with GTO Wizard, they're coming out with new things with AI and with player tendencies and how to find all these exploits that I was lucky enough to find through other players. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you just need one person to tell you to like get this sub, and then you can pretty much be on your way. So pretty easy these
yeah,
days. Um,
exactly.
so if you went on this downer that you said was so big, what stakes were you playing when you kind of were just getting started off in poker?
I was
Did you start the low stakes, or were you always kind of firing high?
no, I was always playing like $150 ABI and didn't really change much. Like I was firing the 630s every Sunday, every the 630, the night high rollers, all of them, playing the 215s. I always threw myself in the fire. I mean, I have a different approach now um, than I did before because I've gotten a lot smarter. But I've always with ACR like I threw myself completely in the fire. I mean, I think that's also how you get better, and I think that's also how I've been. ACR has allowed me to network. Like
Yeah.
I I found like three of the top uh guys on ACR that are like up millions of dollars on ACR, and I was able to network with them and like figure out what they're doing. And although it's still been a struggle with ACR, I mean the games are tough. Like the games are good. They're good. They're better than us. They're doing a lot of things better. I've been still working on my game and trying to be the best I can.
That's cool. And this is actually a topic that I wanted to get in with you because I think you're one of the a few individuals who've really gotten their feet wet in both the unregulated U.S. markets and the regulated U.S. markets.
Yeah.
So I think you have a cool perspective. Do you think playing against those kind of more skilled opponents to start your career helped you a lot? Or like, I guess the debate would be maybe the EV you could gain learning in the softer games is like more worthwhile or, less variance. What your approach there?
Yeah, I think you said like both of those approaches are really good. I mean, playing in soft games, you're going to make a lot of money, but you're also not going to, when it comes when you're in a big spot against better players a year down the road, you're not gonna know what to do when you're just playing Joe Schmo, right?
Hmm.
Um, as for playing on ACR, uh, you're getting better constantly. Like you see what good players are doing, and then you try to copy their approach, and that's how you get better. I mean, both sides of the coin are good. I mean, I learned a lot of exploits playing good players what they were doing to me because I was the fish, right? So
Yeah.
what they were doing to me is what I would do when I went to softer games. So like there's things you can learn, and I think looking back now, I would have probably game selected a little better. I think I like was a little too hard. I was just playing too high and just playing better players, and I think that like slowly it hurt the growth of my career. It made it a little longer, but I think at the end of the day, you know, you gotta beat the best to be the best, right? So, I've translated into regulated. I've translated really nicely, and yeah, made a lot of money doing so.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like an approach that a lot of people have is, they fire the regulated stuff a lot if they live in the regulated fields, and then maybe they'll take those shots on like a Sunday on ACR, get the upside for a high variance spot, high ROI spot. So
And I was gonna say, and believe it or not, there's still really good options for unregulated. Like there's still good games. Like believe it or not, although ACR is tough. Like if you play a 50 to 60, $70 ABI on ACR, like you're gonna crush. Like the games are still very, 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 very beatable. That's for sure. I don't want to like get that wrong. I don't want to get that message wrong. Like, there's still plenty of other sites that where the games are really beatable and you can still there's still ways to get in through unregulated poker. I mean, although we're trying to push regulated, there's still a lot of EV to be gained for sure. You just have to find the right spots. You just have to know like your average buy-in.
mhm.
Pick the right fights is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and we were even talking about this like yesterday or the day before about I saw that you were playing on Higgy and I'm like I was
Yeah.
surprised. It's just like bot infested, but like kind of you said,
No, the ROIs are still there. Like, although I know I'm getting cheated, it sucks. It's horrible. I mean, I don't know how a site can't fix that, but I know I'm getting cheated. But instead of a 40% ROI, maybe I have a 20% ROI. It's the EVs are still there. I promise you. I won the ignition nightly last night, the 55 bucker for like 6,000. So, I mean,
nice.
like the EVs are for sure still there. I promise you that. You just have to put in the work. You just have to like, I'm constantly taking screenshots, constantly asking friends like, oh, like what would you do here? Like, oh, can you run this for me? Like all these things that I'm constantly doing to get better. So I continue to do so.
It's awesome. So I think another big difference for the between the regulated and unregulated fields are just the size of them, right? Um, do you feel or do you like the environment in regulated where, especially at higher stakes, you're kind of playing the same like 50 to 100 guys who you have history with? Does it get repetitive, or do you kind of prefer the big
No,
value of infinite money up top?
I prefer both. I mean, it depends. Like I have a really fun dynamic with a lot of good regs and the regulated pools. It's a lot of fun. some of the dynamics I have because I obviously play a very different style than most. I mean, I'm borderline psychopath. So, yeah, it's fun. Like the dynamic is always constantly changing between all of the good regs. And then, as for the big fields, sure, it's fun. I look at it as an approach more of like a lottery ticket because it's landmines you have to dodge in 1,000 person fields, 800 person fields.
Yeah.
It's 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 still there's still a lot of huge luck factor, of course. But again, those runs when you get there, you feel like you're on top of the world, like chasing $1,000 buy-in, like $1,000, like thousand buy-ins is what I was looking for.
There you
Yeah,
go.
like you're chasing like, yeah, like a huge buy-ins, and winning, a lot of money for a small amount of money, which is really cool. So I do prefer it. I don't prefer either or. It just depends on the day, like on a random Tuesday or Wednesday, it's going to be a small field. On a Sunday or a Saturday when the bracelet series is going on, it's going to be a big field. So yeah,
Yeah.
both are good.
I think there's an interesting social aspect too in the smaller fields where like you're friends with a lot of the people and like you
Yeah.
know them like relatively well. Like I don't know, you're probably like close friends with like 20% of the field at least. So I think there's a lot of fun like leveling
Yeah,
those
no,
that can
there's like
happen.
I like Tyler T Slade is like my one of my best friends in the game. Like I have such a fun dynamic with him. Like we go like crazy hard against each other. And it's always fun to like message him after we play a crazy pot, like, what the fuck did you have, you motherfucker, like,
All right, so
yeah,
T
it's
Slate is a good one that you have battles with. Are there any other fun
oh,
regs that you have some insane
Slate,
dynamics with?
T Slate, Zen Reed, he's another one. Benji, like
Yeah, yeah.
all these guys I have crazy dynamics with for the most part. Also, like pay for med school. That guy, he's out of his mind too. But yeah, there's so many there's so many of them. I mean, there's so many. It's fun. I enjoy it. Like I literally sit here. I sit in my desk just smiling. I love the game. I love everything about it. And then it's just fun. It's just fun to me. I enjoy getting under people's skin. I enjoy people getting under my skin. It's fun. It's a fun dynamic. It's all it is.
Yeah, and I think the series that we just kind of finished up, it's not as active as like PA fantasy series have been in the past, but I think it's a really cool aspect of the poker community to kind of give that more fun aspect to it.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
time where
yeah.
we're all playing damn near every day. Everyone's tired as fuck. They don't want to play anymore. It's
Right.
a cool little thing everyone goes through.
Yeah, that series was a lot of fun. There's a lot of good tournaments they ran. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoy it. For fantasy, like some things I don't like the aspect like you're forced to play every day. I'm pretty big on if you want to play, you should play it. If you don't want to play, you shouldn't play. So like I just don't like things like interrupting my routine. I don't know. I'm just picky with that. But overall, yeah, I mean I love when they run big events. I love when they're pushing guarantees to the max. It's really good for poker. So
What is
I
that
think MGM.
routine? Or sorry, what is that routine like for you nowadays? Like how many days do you like to play a week? Do you play certain days over other days? Like what's that kind of like?
Well, I think I used to like probably like 8 months ago. I was playing probably every day, but I've been lucky enough to find a very beautiful girlfriend, and
There we
she's
go.
taken my efforts away from the tables a lot. But I'm still playing a lot. I'm still playing 5 days a week for the most part.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I really believe if you want to like climb and get good at this game and stay good at this game, you have to keep playing and it's just you have to either be playing or studying. You have to like keep up with the meta and yeah, it's fun, but it's also a very big commitment. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's for sure.
Yeah, I remember
That's,
I listened to a Joe Ingram podcast with Ben Solsky, like Sauce 123 a while ago, and
yeah,
he kind of described that process where, you know, you're trying to battle at the highest stakes for a long time, and every single other person is, also studying 3 hours a day. So to not fall back, you have to be putting in a shit ton of effort. Um, so
right.
I definitely hear that. Like, it's hard to kind of stay at the top, but you know, I guess you have some leeway in the regulated fields compared to the
Yeah,
ACR
yeah.
ones.
We're uh we're definitely spoiled with regulated, but I hope it gets bigger. That's what I hope. I mean, I think MGM is probably doing the best out of all of them. I mean, they're pushing everything to the max.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah,
Don't sleep
I
on
really
Bet
hope.
Rivers. They're
Oh
about to
yeah,
be the.
I love the anonymity. Like
Oh,
I
you
love
like
ignition.
that?
I love it. I don't just like it. I love it. It's
Okay.
awesome.
Convince me,
Awesome.
because I feel like a lot of regs have the opinion that like they think it's like kind of useless or like not that important. If anything, they just don't like it.
Well, I think it's awesome because instead of playing against a player, you're playing against a player pool, right? You're trying to understand it's different. You're just playing against player pool tendencies versus player tendencies because you don't really know who the player is unless you can get like a decent, you can make strong assumptions off of 100 hands. I mean, it's hard. It's not a lot of hands. I mean, obviously, but I feel like you can make pretty big assumptions, but. I do love the anonymity. I mean, because especially for me, like I would get away with murder with
Yeah,
with
I guess that's true. If you're kind of just like potting everything, everyone's gonna think the player pool's a nit, and they're just gonna get every bluff through.
get away with a lot of things without knowing a screen name to the name. But I mean, yeah, I would love it. Bet Rivers, that would be a lot of fun. I always see like uh Sebastian was posting scores of all these big wins, and I was like, damn, like get me on that site. But yeah,
Yeah, he
we
won.
also lost.
Say that again.
Sucks. We lost Club WPT Gold
Oh
or whatever
yeah,
it is. We so yeah, we're losing sites by the minute. We lost Global.
damn.
Um, yeah, yes, yes. So yeah, I would love to be on Bet Rivers. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're coming to you guys pretty soon by end of year. I think they said so. They'll be the provider in most states.
That would be
So
great. Yeah, that
be
would be
sweet.
great. I mean, as long as we keep Nevada out, that's all that matters. Too many regs.
Yeah, I was gonna. That was another thing I kind of wanted to ask about for the comparison between regulated and unregulated. Is the difference between like ACR and WSOP like significant, or is it kind of
Yeah,
the difference between MGM and like ACR is like much more significant? Like, what's kind of the difference between those two?
there's a lot of good players on WSOP.com. Don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
There's a lot of good players on MGM too. I mean, obviously, with BetMGM Sportsbook, like they get a lot of recreationals. But yeah, I mean the difference between ACR and WSOP, it's not even it's still it's still the players. I mean, you get like the Russians and Brazilians, and
Yeah,
like they all have like data on million hands. It's not very good, but they have like millions of hands on people, and they're like exploiting people really hard. So yeah, the difference between WSOP.com and ACR is like not even comparable. And then
gotcha.
the difference between, and I also think there's a big difference between WSOP.com and MGM. Like there's a lot more good players on WSOP.com, and the fields are a lot bigger. So, with the fields being a lot bigger, variance is going to be higher. So yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of differences between ACR and those sites, but yeah,
Yeah,
the variance is still high no matter where you play.
yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of regs in Vegas who are hopping onto the online streets a bit more. Like even some of the higher stakes guys. Like I know Foxen's in the online streets on WSOP for a lot of the time. I think Justin Saliba is also pretty active on there.
Uh,
But obviously, you have a lot of just online kids in Russia grinding out their hourly on 18
yeah,
tables.
yeah, Clement, Dang. There's a lot of good WSOP high stakes regs, and they're also on ACR too. So
Yeah,
they're in
that's a good point too.
there.
Um,
Yeah,
cool. So, yeah, let's talk about risk. So it seems like you are, I mean, we've covered this already. You are somebody who just fires hard and they fire often. I mean, I'm still mind blown that you started off at 150 ABI. Like that's nuts to me. Um, so I know for me and for many others, there's like a mental barrier to firing bigger. And others that can be a flaw. They want to fire bigger and just degens their bankroll off. So were you always comfortable firing big, or was that something that kind of developed over time? Like when you're first playing $150 ABI online, I feel like I would be like very nervous. Was that something for you, or did you have like live experience that cushioned that?
No, I really didn't have much experience. I just threw myself in the fire, and I mean to say I wasn't nervous. That's crazy. Of course I was nervous, but I mean in terms of bankroll, like I mean this guy is a very hit or miss type of guy, but Taters, Corey Thompson, PA Reg,
Hmm.
um, he's he's definitely taught me a lot about bankroll management. I mean, there's no one here. There's no one in. I don't even know if there's anyone in the world that's run as much bankroll sims or variance calculator sims as him. And you can get away with a lot of things, being very aggressive in bankroll management. Um, with a proper strategy. And like I said earlier on, I've surrounded myself with a lot of people that are smarter than me and who understand a lot more than me. And I've soaked it up with a sponge. So, when Corey was telling me like, oh, like you can have $40,000 and fire a venom bullet, like you can get away with it. You can do these things. You just have to on the back end, you just have to be smart. Like you have to be flicking your $30, $50 bullets. Like you have to be playing those low stakes to supplement the large shot Jake. So yeah, I love to fire. I've been playing whatever runs unregulated for the high stakes. I'll play it. Um, and yeah, like it as long as I'm following the proper, steps, the proper bankroll management, like playing all of the good stuff, all like the mid stakes, low stakes, not low stakes, but mid stakes, good stuff. You can get away with firing pretty high buy-ins for sure. And even for live, like, you can get away with firing a $5,000 buy-in with, you know, like a 200K net worth, right? Like that's obviously crazy, but you can get away with it because you have to, in the days you're not playing it, you're in the $50 buckers and grinding your EV.
Yeah, that's a cool perspective to have. I know, Taters is a kind of polarizing,
Yeah,
but he's just like
yeah.
I think I was talking about this actually with Find the Best and Flat Too Sharp yesterday, but um, I think he's just like crushing it this year. Like he's just playing
Oh
so
yeah,
much. Like obviously he's
he's a
like
beast.
played a ton in volume in past years as well, but it feels like this year I'm seeing him win like a WSOP event like every other day or like
He's a
just
beast.
winning
There's
everything.
no. I respect. There's a lot of good players. He's one of them. Like he's a beast. There's no beating around the bush. I mean, for sure, he's a polarizing character, but I think at the end he means really well, and he's really smart. And I've I don't care what it doesn't matter what you do, whatever you say, whatever all this BS. At the end of the day, we're all trying to get better at the game, and he's definitely was a really useful tool and an awesome person too. Even though awesome person to me at least. So
So in that vein of, firing hard, he's suggesting like you fire a Venom with a 40K bankroll, things like that. What was one of like the first shots that kind of made you like put you out of your comfort zone? Do you recall any of those or a big shot you took?
a big shot I took. I mean,
It doesn't have to be big like dollar wise, but maybe even something like early on that you took.
yeah, like I was playing like the ACR, like they during like an OSS series they were running like 1K 400Ks, and I'd put like 5 bullets into it, like with like a 40K roll, 30K roll, like insane stuff, like
Jesus.
you can get away with a lot of things like that. Like I said before, as long as you're just playing, playing playing like the 30, the 50s, where all the EV came from, right? At the time. So that's
Yeah.
what I kept doing. You can get away with it.
I guess that's a good point. Like the term, like the phrasing you're using, "get away with it," is like clicking in my head where individual prime dope sim will not take into account like the fact that you're playing other things on the side or you have other income coming in. So,
Right.
it drastically increases the, amount that you can fire, or it
Right.
reduces the risk
Exactly
of ruin.
right. You're not firing 100 of these. You're firing I don't know 2 or 3 a year. Like you're only doing this a couple times, and it's like, it's like, it's kind of like you shot take. If you don't have any success, you grind it back up, and then it's just like it's just an even up and down circle until you bank, right? Until you get lucky. And yeah, that was my approach, and I guess I got lucky.
Yeah. Um, how do you deal with those kinds of like results when you brick it out, right? Like let's say you're firing like four 1K bullets, you brick everything, you're like, all right, I have a whatever, a 50K roll, I just lost like 10% of it, like just firing this random shit. What do I do now? Do you have any like recovery process from that? Like do you take off? Do you just like drop down in stakes? Do you keep firing? What's that like for you?
No, I think it's really important to like not like let the results not affect you. Although it's really hard, but I think it's really important to like, so where whether you win 10% of your net worth, lose 10% of your net worth, it shouldn't matter. You just and show up next day and get the work done, right? So I've never been a play. I've never I know players that, like, oh, like they take off or they study more. To me, I just keep showing up. I mean, you'll keep beating my face in until I have no face, right? So um yeah, I have never really like taken time off or when losing, or even dropping ABI. I just kept showing up, and eventually it allowed me to have a lot of success.
Yeah. I feel like once you get to a certain point too, it's a lot easier to keep showing up. You know, you have your you went through quite the brutal like, first year. You're like starting off at $150 ABI and then having a downswing. I feel like that can numb you to a lot of the things that the worst case scenarios that could potentially come.
Yeah, for sure. It's taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot of ups. I've had a lot of ups and downs in my career, but I'm really happy to where I'm at right now. So it's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. So kind of branching off that was another topic that I wanted to talk about. You know, you don't want to play Tritons in 5 years. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Do you want to be playing, more live tournaments? Do you see yourself like moving to Vegas? Do you want to, you know, yeah, basically what do you want to do? Coaching, staking, like what's on the plan?
With this new bill, I'm a little very worried. We'll see. So it depends with the whole tax situation on what they're gonna do. But I mean, for the future, I would love. I've been starting to play a lot more high stakes live. I played a bunch of 10Ks in Florida. I played the 10K at Borgata. Yeah, I've been trying to branch out into the high stakes live scene more, but we'll see if that's going to go on pause with the
Right.
bill. But yeah, I see myself continuing to play, continuing to get better, continuing to grow my bankroll, and I don't know. In 5 years, who knows? It's tough with the industry constantly changing. I would love to still be in the game. Staking seems like a really cool opportunity. There's so many things. Coaching, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm good enough to coach. Like, like I'm also not necessarily probably the great. I have a. For me, when I learn, it's easier for me to absorb it rather than like teach it, right? Like so. Um,
Gotcha.
I don't know if I would be the best teacher, but yeah, like this game has provided me a lot, so giving back would be pretty cool too.
Yeah, I think yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty, at least for now. I think hopefully maybe things will clear up in a year or two, but I think those are all
Yeah,
like pretty solid, like, quote unquote exit opportunities in poker to, be able to do
yeah,
something that's related, right? You don't have to only play. You can do your own coaching business or you can stake or you can whatever, do something related to poker.
yeah. You can do a lot of things for sure. There's a lot of opportunities within the game that are cool.
Is that something that you would like? It seems like kind of what you said. You've been playing live a decent amount. Making these travels to certain areas. Is like grinding the live circuit in the U.S. Would that be something like if the tax issue wasn't a thing? Would
I,
you want to? Or
no, I would never grind the live circuit. I don't enjoy live as much as other people, but like no, I would never go grind a circuit. I just like going to like the big events, like I don't like missing for the Florida series. That's a really awesome series that
hmm
the Hard Rock runs. I don't like missing, like big WPTs at like, Vegas. Um I don't miss Borgata because it's so close. But yeah, I mean, going, for me and like in my personal opinion, like there's nothing more miserable than going to like Cherokee for a $1,700 main. Personally, I mean, that's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. I know people enjoy that a lot, and that's what they enjoy, and that's awesome. But that I just know that's like like going in the middle of nowhere to like go
Yeah.
play a main event. Sure, that's not for me. But
I mean,
if I
once you go to Monte Carlo or Montenegro, it's like, come on, Cherokee, what are we doing here?
no, it's just like um if I like if I had a bunch of people like a bunch of friends to go and travel these thoughts, it maybe be a lot more fun. But I don't know, like it's not for me. But it's for some people, like everyone enjoys what they like to do, right? So for me, it
Yeah.
is not for me. Yeah.
I was gonna say the social aspect is certainly like an underrated part. I feel like if you're playing online poker a lot, you can message people on Discord on the side, but obviously it's not the same as hanging out and talking with people. So that part is always nice. But yeah, I mean, constantly taking flights to random cities in the Midwest for the WSOP circuit, that's not doesn't seem too appealing.
Yeah, for that's for sure. That's for sure. And it's also like it's hard, man. Like the buy-ins, like if there's only a 1,700, and I know there's like a 1,700, and then there's like a usually like a $2,200 high roller. Like it's hard to like like with the EV you're gaining, it's hard to like offset expenses, right? Like
Yeah, like rake,
so
hotel, flight. It's
like
like,
there's a lot of expenses that go into it.
mhm.
So
Yeah, you almost have to like
there's
quote unquote fire multiple bullets to recoup your EV.
right, no, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, but there's for sure some people that do it. I'm sure there's some great poker players on the circuit that are, you know, grinding it out and making a lot of money. But yeah, it's just not for me.
Before this, I was doing a quick scroll on your Hendon mob, and it seemed like I thought you were like living in Vegas or living in Florida for a bit. The amount of times that you guys are, or that you're going to these stops, are those kind of your frequent stops, Vegas and Florida?
I lived in Vegas
Okay,
for I'm right after like COVID like broke loose, like right after it all like cleared up. I moved straight to Vegas for a year and grinded a lot of live.
gotcha.
So
This was
that
like
would make sense.
this was after you had grinded on ACR. You had moved to play more
Yeah.
live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Exactly.
So was that kind of
Yeah.
like your
And
original plan to like be a live reg at Vegas, or was that a switch
yeah,
up?
that was my original. I wanted to play a lot of live, but I realized after living in Vegas for a year, personally, again, everyone has their own opinion. Vegas to me is one of the most miserable places on earth. Um, that's just my opinion. I just maybe I don't just I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I
I,
told
I just couldn't.
I told Vaisman pretty much the same exact thing. Like I I like to be near like nature and like go on walks by like the water or something like that. Like just living in like a desert and just being stuck inside for like 90-degree heat outside all day. It sounds like hell. I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
But obviously there's also other bad aspects of it.
yeah, for sure.
Sweet. Um, yeah, so I guess we can kind of talk about more online stuff. Do you have any like pre-session or post-session routines that help you out?
I wake up, I shower, I get on Discord, talk to friends. Once in a blue moon, go outside, see the sun, and no, that's it. Like I don't really have for pre. I would like to start like going outside and going to the gym and start working out a bunch and getting my life back on track. But for right now, I don't have as much routine as I'd like to. It's just wake up and play for the most part.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar as well. But I think there's a lot to be said for those types of routines.
Yes,
Kind of
I would
helping
agree.
you lock in. I've been telling
I would,
myself to develop something
yeah, I
easier
would
than telling
agree.
yourself. Um, I'm assuming kind of same thing for your 5 minute breaks. There's nothing you do like pads running into the mirror, screaming at himself to play better.
Yeah, yeah. I don't do any of that, but it's funny. People have a lot of routines. People have a lot of different routines.
Hmm. Um, cool. What does your desk setup look like? Do you have rocking one monitor, two monitors,
I have one huge monitor,
42
one
inch or
huge. Yeah, Yeah, 42 inches sounds about right. I'm not really uh, a like a computer geek, but yeah, I have a one huge monitor and a gaming PC.
What are the
Nothing.
what are the max amount of tables you fit on that monitor?
So I've had so many different approaches with table count. Um, on like peak Sunday, I'll have like 15. Um, but I really don't. I don't play my. I play so sloppy when I'm playing 15 tables. For me, for me, I would say 8 to 10 is like that's the best. Like that's where I feel like I'm locked in, and I feel like I'm playing my best game. But you know, it's tough when there's so many good tournaments to play on a Sunday, right?
Yeah,
So you like it's hard to like pass up on a lot of these tournaments.
definitely a lot of
So
FOMO.
yeah, so I just keep flicking tables, and then it gets to a point where I'm just like making decisions, just like aimlessly. I'm not like really looking into the spot and making an educated choice. I'm just doing it because it's my turn and I have to act. So I would
Gotcha.
say my average table count is around 8 to 10, and then like on Sundays it gets out of hand sometimes. But yeah.
Was that always kind of the table count range you
No,
rocked
no.
with, or did you start kind of on
Uh,
ACR with a four table, six table, or what?
yeah, I started with like very like exactly what you said, like 4 tables, 6 tables. Um, and once I was able to get comfortable with that, then I started getting more out of hand with the tables. But yeah, I started very low table count. I think that's how you should start. You should even start even smaller, like two. If you're just starting out, like 2 tables, 3 tables, that's more than enough to get a sample of what you're doing wrong and how to improve.
Yeah, I actually, yeah, I can ask about this because I recently had a conversation with somebody who kind of just started playing in the PA pool like for a few months, but they had a question about like bringing up the table count. How do you develop the skill to go from like, two tables to four tables to six tables, eight tables, 10 tables? And what I told him was just like, practice, right? You just stay at like four tables for a bit, you get a little comfortable, add another. It's gonna feel uncomfortable, add another, still uncomfortable. Just like you're gonna have to get used to being uncomfortable. I wasn't sure if there's
Yeah.
any advice you you had for related to this at all.
No, I mean, being uncomfortable is not always a bad thing. I've learned to be uncomfortable in a lot of situations. I mean, when I first started out, I was playing like on way on the tighter side, and then like I was getting coached, and I was told that you need to get out of your comfort zone. And then when you start check raising people with combos you have no idea what you're doing with, like then that's where you get uncomfortable, right? Like that's when you're like, oh shit, like I don't know what to do. And I think that's important. Like getting out of that comfort zone is for sure important.
Yeah. How are you studying these days? What kind of method do you use? I mean, obviously running sims, GTO Wizard preloaded sims, watching Final Table, cards up replays, that kind of stuff, Triton streams.
You literally, you literally nailed it all in the head. Like I think watching Final Table replay streams, I watch it with a bunch of guys on Discord. We watch a lot of Final Table streams, talk about it. Some I have friends that run it in Pio, and you can like do really cool things that even right now are still not going on with ICM and on final tables. And like there's so much leading and so much unintuitive things that you can do um, on
Hmm.
final tables that are really good if you implement them correctly. So yeah, like yeah, exactly. Uh, running sims, like just looking at final tables, and yeah, and look every now and then I go over hand histories with friends, looking at their hand histories, looking at my hand histories, looking at screenshots that I took. I think taking screenshots is also very important, uh,
Yeah.
and then talking to them about all these different spots. Yeah.
I think the cards up replays are incredibly undervalued. It's like you get to see how the best in the world are playing versus each other versus Fish. It's like insane.
Yeah. The heads up replay is like watch all the star stuff, all
Hmm.
that stuff,
Yeah.
and also ACR has them too in client.
Oh,
as
right.
well.
Yeah, yeah. That's really cool. Those are probably super helpful. I think
Yeah.
I remember obviously final table strategy that you can gain from watching, or the strategy you gain from watching these replays is mostly applicable to final tables. But I remember, uh, I think it was also Pads recommended this for new players. Just like open up the client of like a 10K or like, for example, in the regulated fields, like a 1K that runs on a Saturday or on Sunday, and just like open every table, screen record it, and mark every single hand that has a showdown, and just like look at every single hand that they played that went to showdown. Analyze the lines, see what they're doing, because that'll be more applicable to kind of like the early stages that you're playing more frequently than the final table stuff. But obviously that stuff's hard to find. There's not like full tournament replays unless you're watching a Triton.
Yeah, of course. No, that's an awesome strategy for sure. Yeah,
Sweet.
that's a good idea.
Um, cool. I think that covered most of the stuff that I had. Um,
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you, Brandon, for coming on the podcast, being our first non-PA guest. Hopefully, we'll get some more of you New Jersey guys, or maybe even the rare Michigan guy, but I don't think there's
Yeah.
many that exist.
Go reach out to Free Tupon.
Free Tupon, okay. Oh,
Go
he's
reach
a
out to
he's a
him.
Michigan guy, right?
Yeah, yeah, he's a Michigan guy.
Yeah, I think he's friends with Escher.
Yeah, he is. Or you can reach out to Stosey. I can, if you know Stosey as well. I'm pretty sure he's Michigan as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's some
Sounds
good
good.
players ever.
Sweet. Well, thank you for hopping on once again. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, I'll hit you later, brother. Thanks for all this. It's awesome. Can't wait for it to see it on YouTube.
Sweet.